Hello guys, and welcome back to another episode of Let's Play Crusader Kings II, the Mongol Empire. Alright, currently we are in control of a bunch of stuff, and our situation is quite interesting, because I'm currently maimed, which is, makes it really, likely that I will die soon. And my heir is 0 years old, which means that when I die, I'm gonna have to go ahead and play as a 0-year-old. And that's usually not a recipe for success, because that means that I'm going to have a bunch of civil wars and crap. Currently there are no factions, but that's mainly because my vassals, they all approve of me to a certain degree. And those who don't are just, people who doesn't matter anyway, so yeah. Except for this guy, but he doesn't actually have any actual power. He just have a like a title, and that's it. So yeah. So that's something. Currently also having some rebel problems. So I mean, the main reason for mentioning all this is that I'm kind of thinking that I'm gonna go ahead and be a little bit careful when it comes to who I invade and who I don't invade, for the simple reason that I mean, there's a very big chance that I'm going to have to fight a civil war very soon. And I don't want to be, like, bogged down in a huge war against Rome or the Abbasids or anyone like that. So that's really my main reason. My council keep dying. Who are you and what do you want? A random Danish man comes around and believes he's awesome. I'm gonna prove him otherwise. Okay, so really, I think I'm just gonna go in and try and invade some of these minor Muslim states here in, I don't know, Kurdistan? Shit, my geography is not really helping out here. Let's take a look at culture. Yeah, it's kind of Kurdish. To be honest, but although I believe that this, this Kurdish culture thing doesn't perfectly represent where Kurdistan is today. And I'm not, I know that there is no, really now, my cousin is hiring derps. That's not nice. How about you die then? Yep, that's totally going to happen. So, what was I saying? Fuck, I don't even remember. Yeah, well, anyways, I do have some more stuff to talk about, so I might as well get on to it. Been getting some nice comments on my last couple of videos, and that's nice. One of them was a guy who told me that I should play whenever that was back when I was playing as Genghis Khan, and he told me that I should try and play as the actual guy who actually inherited the empire historically. Although that didn't really happen, and my excuse for that is mainly just that because the succession laws that allowed for that succession in real life to take place is not represented properly in this game, because I mean, historically the Mongols kind of had a system that was kind of a mixture between elective and how much plot power do I have? That's quite a bit. Let's get a little bit more. Get over 300. That sounds fun. Historically they had sort of a mixture between elective monarchy and primogeniture, or Gavelkind or whatever, or hereditary or whatever you want to call it. Suspicious accidents. Okay, nice. Now there's going to be no stupid invasion or whatever. Because historically what happened was simply that Genghis Khan, he specifically requested that the third son, his third son was the one to be, that was going to be the next great Khan. And I didn't have the ability to choose that when I played. Although if things were to be perfectly historically, then things wouldn't have turned out as they did, currently right now. Because historically, the realm was split into 4. Although, in order for that to happen, or I guess 2 of the realms that the Mongol Khanate or the Mongol Empire was split into are not even represented on this map. So I guess that wouldn't really work out, would it? But so you know have the Golden Horde, the Ilkhanate, the Chagatai Khanate, and the Yuan dynasty in China, or basically just China. So although it didn't like split up into like, you know, like the Karlings, which split up into like 3 independent kingdoms, it split into like kind of like how Gavelkind succession works in this game. I'm just gonna quickly go over this. I have a hard time talking while I'm concentrating. This isn't much to concentrate about, but still, you will be surprised how easily it is to get my concentration. You know, go full bullshit. So basically, it's like the succession in the Mongol Khanate is kind of like, imagine if I'm playing the as Genghis Khan right now, and my titles were as follows: I owned the Mongol Empire, I owned the Chagatai Khanate, the Chinese, the Yuan dynasty, which the Ilkhanate, and the Golden Horde, and all of those 4 titles were kingdoms, while the Mongol Empire one was an empire. So basically, what happened under, you know, Gavelkind's succession would be that, you know, all the sons would gain a kingdom, and then one would gain the empire. Maybe not perfectly like that, but something like that. And that's basically what happened. You know, the 4 parts that the empire was split into were still, strictly speaking, vassals to the Great Khan, which was the 3rd son of Genghis Khan. But they were, I mean, the Mongol Empire was so big that it, you know, the vassals were rather independent, because it wasn't really practical to rule an empire that big and still have control over it or whatever. Anyways, should I? Yeah, let's just keep hunting down that one rebel, because I'm so close. Oh no, you know what? This is just gonna keep taking forever, so I'm just gonna go and disband, and then I'm gonna get to declare some wars. Disband all the levy. Oh wow, I barely have any levy at all. Huh. Well, that's not good. Guess I need to raise some levy after all then. Oh wow, really? 8,000? That's it? Kind of expected a little bit more. Oh well. Because this is a very decently sized duchy right here. Or high chiefdom, or whatever you want to call it. Well, fuck it. Let's just speed up game. I'm losing some land here to some filthy rebels, but that's just fine. Or that's just something we have to live with, I guess. Because I cannot have raised levy when I start invading other derps. Yeah, 99. Yeah, there we go. 101,000. That's about as high as we're going to get. That's about as high as we're going to get this time. So invasion and invasion. And oh, I should probably have shite. Yeah, that's kind of what I should have checked out, isn't it? Because they have allies, and that's going to be a problem. Okay. Fuck. Okay, never mind then. I guess now we are at war with Egypt. Shit. That wasn't meant to happen. Oh crap. How's the other guy? What's his position? Who are you allied to? You're not allied to anyone who actually matters, so that's fine. Yeah, so it's mainly this Edessa guy that's the actual problem. Okay, never mind then. Raise the levy. Like so. Quickly unite these derps. Kill off that rebel. Rebel. Because nobody likes the rebels. Should I? I don't really know. I think I'm gonna need a bunch of troops down south. I wanted to go and invade these guys as well, but because of the whole war with Egypt thing, I think I want to be a little bit more careful of what I do and what I don't. So let's do just that. Be careful and shit. And that's the correct term for it. Being careful and shit. Okay, now let's get this show on the road. By the way, I just want to take a quick look at something. How old are my other sons? He's 11, and he's actually turning out quite good. He's gay and all, but that's fine. Being gay is no problem. Because I would kind of like this guy to be my heir. Oh man. I'm really kind of even considering trying to change the succession law, but I know that's really not a good idea. I should have divorced my wife earlier on, but I didn't really see this MAME thing coming along. Of course, there is a small chance that I will survive, but just in general, that rarely happens. Once you're maimed, then your thing starts to go downhill from there. So sad. Die at age 22. Although I do have a plan for keeping the realm decently stable. I do have saved up a bit of money so I can buy mercenaries. And I've also made sure that all of these guys are still only counts. So that once the succession happens, I can go ahead and give a select amount of these people duchies, and that will make them love me. And that's basically the plan. Who revolted? These guys. Okay, never mind then. I guess these guys are going to go march, unify up there. And kill off those rebels. So that's fine. Oh, okay. Just run away if that's what you feel like. And I keep inheriting stuff. So annoying, but what are you gonna do? Lower Dnieper. I don't even know how you're supposed to pronounce that. Seriously. Okay, let's just do an assault here because I can. There's no real reason not to be doing that assault. Should I? I don't know though. No, that doesn't make much sense. No, let's just go. Let's just go, and this guy Ermin can just hunt him down. It says there are 2 rebels, and yes, there is. Okay, never mind. I just went full derp there for a second. From what I see, the Egyptians haven't joined in on the battle yet. But I guess that's mainly just because I don't know. Maybe they have to have a certain amount of war score. Maybe simply they just rejected. So, because I mean, it happens. I'm just so used to having very bad luck when it comes to you know, allies and stuff, that I sort of take it as a, I don't really see, I always, you know, default think that that's, you know, the bad stuff is going to happen. Ooh, look at that. The Abbasids are splitting up even more. I guess they were able to get this guy down again. What's this revolt all about? It's a derp trying to claim Mesopotamia. That's fine. It's good. Anything weakening my enemies is positive. So I'm not complaining. Not at all. Okay, skip these guys. Take a slightly different route. Because they are, strictly speaking, going to go ahead and go to different places, so you can go there and then go through the Roomlands. Nope, I said through the Roomlands. Because there are no reason not to. Okay. Yeah, so the real question now, depending, you know, on the stability of my empire, is really just, can I survive 14 more years? If I can, then things should be alright. If I can't, then I'm fucked. Probably not fucked, but I am in bad shape, and that's just going to be... I'm confident in my abilities to win this civil war, but I recognize the fact that it's not going to be like a walk in the park. I guess he can go over there. Whose army is this, and why are they hostile? Idris. Oh shit. Oh shit! Where the actual fuck did that army come from? Okay. Hopefully the battle will oh fuck, I need generals. Why don't I have any generals? Get all the generals. This is the yeah, that's the maimed guy. Still leading troops though. It's hilarious. Yeah, the question is really if my troops here can hold out for long enough. And there you go, I died. Fucking shit. He died a maimed cripple. I did, didn't I? God damn it! And now I'm 2 years old. Hooray! Shite. Okay. Okay, how am I gonna do this? How am I going to do this? My vassals don't actually hate me that much, which is interesting to say the least. Sorry for not saying anything. I'm just like, what? You know, like, what? I kind of expected everything to go to hell at this point, but I guess not. I guess we might as well go ahead and create some duchies while we're at it. Duchy of Armenia. No. Let's do some of those up here in the north. Kingdom. No, I don't think I'm gonna go ahead and create kingdoms. That's rarely a good idea. Albania. Fuck yeah. Albania for the win, bitch. Who would make a great Albanian ruler? I guess this man right here would be all okay. Or Derbent, I guess that it's called here for some reason. Do not know why, but Itil, it's a fine one. Quite big, but it's fine. Isn't there a kingdom called Itil? No, there's not. Oh, Elenia is the kingdom. Oh well, just a little failure of my knowledge there, but that's fine. Are there no content people? Everybody's like have all these red traits, which is like bad and shit. He's old, and I'm his heir, and that's usually never a good idea. I hate having to distribute titles all over again. So annoying. I'm gonna go ahead and give it to someone who has an established... no, it doesn't seem like... Okay, fuck it, let's just find some guy with high stewardship then. Which doesn't really seem to exist. They're all... You know what, fuck it, it doesn't seem... They're all pretty much terrible, so it'll just give it to this guy. He's gonna love us for it, so it's fine. Next on the list will be Aktobi. That's like the one of the few places in my empire that's actually Mongol. So from what I've understood, I think like the reason why they did this, or why they made it so why these start out as Mongol, it's simply for the reason that it's going to make it possible for the Mongol culture to spread into Europe, because I don't know when this changed, but I mean, traditionally, in order for a culture to spread, it had to border that particular province. But you can clearly see that that's not the case anymore, and I have had a lot of experience in that, like in my Norwegian campaign and stuff. It's clearly not the case anymore. So I really don't understand quite like what the thing is about that, but it's clearly something. Because so I'm guessing that's the explanation for why these provinces start out as Mongol. Because I mean, while these places didn't become, they didn't become Mongol, they were like Turkic and Turkic peoples mainly, or Iranians and stuff. But still, oh fuck, I was defeated. Oh shit. Okay, never mind. Regroup. I mean, that's always something I've found to be frustrating in these games, that you cannot choose where to retreat to. Because I mean, I never really understood the logic. Why can't you do that? Oh shit, he's actually hunting me down, isn't he? Shite. Okay, everybody go there then. Oh well, let's just not focused on that and instead do something else. This guy is... Yeah, that's the guy I'm with. These provinces are a little bit all over the place. I don't really know perfectly what am I supposed to see and what am I not. Yeah, that's right. I didn't actually finish creating duchies, but it's fine, I guess. I haven't actually defeated the armies though of the I haven't actually defeated the armies of the derps that I'm fighting right now, but it doesn't seem like that actually matters. I don't know where those armies went. So I don't know if splitting up right now is a bad idea or not, but I'm just gonna do it anyways because YOLO. And for those who did not understand that was a joke, it was a joke. If you ever hear me saying YOLO, then that's a joke. Sort of I don't know. I won't call it an inside joke among my friends. It's just that it is. I don't know. I'm so used to being able to say things such as swag and YOLO, and whenever I say them, I'm so used to saying them in a way that is always a joke. I've never really been in a conversation where those words have been used seriously. It's always just been like we see someone that has like superb amount of swag, and then we're like, oh shit, swag incoming, Because there's just something kind of hilarious about that. Anyways, how did I get from playing as the glorious Mongol Empire to talk about swag? Blasphemy, that's what it is. Yeah, she needs an educator, so... and you won the prize! Here we go. I guess I should use her for opinion and stuff. But it's fine. Yeah, let's find some more duchies to create. That was fun. Cherson. Sure, we can create Cherson. That sounds like sounds reasonable. So we'll give it to... Ah yes, of course, the gay man. Everybody knows that they deserve the title. This will be the most fabulous duchy in the realm. Alania. Sure. Anybody who surrender, I approve of. Duchy of Alania. Sure. By the way, I did actually... I believe I mentioned that in an episode, how I always kind of found it a little bit confusing, the whole situation in Alania. You know, what was the thing about Alania? Because to me it never made much sense. Because if you take a look at the sprites of the Alanians, then you can see that they look European. More specifically, they look Russian. And I never really got that one, so I did some research on it. I did some history research to try and figure this out, because that's how pathetic I am. So basically, what I found is that I'm not gonna be like talking about this if I have perfect knowledge about what's going on or whatever. But what I found is that the Alanians are basically a people. They are not Turkic like the majority of these other peoples are. I think at least the majority of these people are sort of Turkic. They're not Turkish, but they're like Turkic. But yeah, so they're basically sort of. If anybody has played Rome 2, no, not Rome 2. That's soon to come up. But just Rome Total War in general. I mean, that's a game a lot of strategy. People who are playing strategy games have played, so it wouldn't surprise me. If you remember the Scythians up here, they were basically a Persian people, or Iranian more. I guess it was explained as in the... Oh. Wait, what? Inbred. Aunt and my kinsman. What the fuck? When did this happen? When does... Why are you inbreeding? What the fuck? When did I approve of this? Oh well, shit happens, I guess, but... Ooh. Inbreeding is some of the most awkward stuff ever. One of the main reasons I'm not a Christian. Anyways. But yeah, back to history. So the Scythians were basically an Iranian people, or the Samatarians or whatever. Like a bunch of these people up here. I looked at a map, and like basically the areas where the Iranian language group was spread out was like pretty much all over here. And in of course Persia, and after a while these areas became more and more populated by like Turkic people and that kind of stuff. But the Alanians sort of remained, and at some point, I mean, I did know a lot more about them at some point, simply because I have forgotten a couple of things, and shit, I need to give up my territory if I want to keep civil war from happening. So basically they were one of those I don't know, they too were just another people. Because you can see there's a bunch of people there. They were basically Iranians. That's from what I understood. That's basically their, where they came from. Although that doesn't really explain why they are, why they have Russian sprites in the game. But I guess it's, it's not really that big of a deal. Oh, here it is. Okay, so that's what I inherited. I don't know. It's kind of interesting why they chose to put them as that. I mean, it might be historical, because from what I understood, they still exist today, the Alanians, although today they are known as Ossetians, or they are basically like a I mean, I know I'm talking about this as if I have full control. I don't, trust me, but I'm just saying that they are a today. If you heard about the whole conflict in Georgia with the South Ossetia thingy, that's the people living there. The Ossetians are basically sort of the remnants of the Alanians, or the Alans, or whatever. So that's interesting. Actually, if you look on on a language group, like for this general, like a map that basically shows off where the different languages are spoken, then there will be like a tiny bit of or like the language groups, I guess. There will be a tiny bit of Iranian up here in the Caucasus. The Caucasus is really, I mean, there's so many cultures here, it's ridiculous. It's actually quite interesting. I did, like, when I began reading about the whole Alanian stuff, I ended up stumbling upon the fact that, you know, I read a little bit about the whole Ossetian thingy. You know, South Ossetia in Georgia, North Ossetia in Russia. And I actually came across something that I didn't really know much about. I kind of knew a little bit about it, but I didn't really have much knowledge about it. You know, how there is, because traditionally I always looked upon the you know, Russia as the Russian Republic, but although I did kind of know that the actual name for it is you know, the Russian Federation, but I didn't really know that there was a bunch of like republics within Russia, as for example, you know, North Ossetia and those kinds of places. And that was kind of interesting to read about. You know, how you have like Tataristan and Yakutsk, I believe, up in Siberia. Of course, North Ossetia. And there was like this one derps over here that I read about. That was kind of interesting. Because it was like, they were a Mongol people, and they spoke a Mongol language from what I understood. And that's actually quite hilarious, because I did read about that at some point. Or no, I didn't read about it. I kind of knew a little bit about it, because if you play EU3, then you see, if you go into the culture map mode, then you can see that there's a little bit of Mongol culture around this particular area, and that always confused me. And it's kind of funny how I stumbled upon, you know, the history behind that when I was researching the Alans. So from what I understood, and oh, here we go. Now I'm at war with Egypt, so that's going to be bad. I guess I'm just gonna have to try and cede as many of these territories as I possibly can to try and keep the war from escalating. And I don't know, who are the Egyptians? What are the Egyptians up to right now? Fighting me. Yeah, there's currently civil wars. That's hopefully going to help out a little bit in my situation, anyways. Hopefully, that's going to allow me to occupy this place. To a point where they will surrender, and that will, as a result, end the war. And yeah, of course, there was this situation over here that I need to deal with. But yeah, back to the whole Mongol thing. So from what I understood, they are basically like a Mongol people that they started out in sort of, if you have played EU3, they started out in the nation that is known as the Oryat Horde in that game. And they sort of eventually, it's not a unique history. I mean, you know, a nomadic people starting out in one place and then going to another place. I mean, that happened a bunch of times throughout history. I mean, you have the Pechenegs starting out right over here, moving down here. You have the Hungarians, which started out over here, and then they went over here. And then you have like a sort of sub-clan of the Oryats moving over here. And they have their own little republic, I believe. I mean, it is really an interesting topic, that the Sub-Republic of Russia. I don't know if that's like really common knowledge, but it did really, I really read a bunch about that, because it did really fascinate me, because I hadn't really done too much research about that before. And I know this makes me sound really geeky, but I mean, people are different. Some people like to play football and others like to, I don't know, figure out that kind of stuff. Because usually whenever I try to like figure out something that confuses me when it comes to history, it usually like puts me out on sort of an adventure. You know, the whole way that I started out, you know, trying to research the Alans, and I ended up, you know, reading about how a part of the Oryat Horde, you know, like migrated over here and founded a khanate or wherever. So I guess it's just and those, you know, that happens all the time for me. The majority of my historical knowledge come from just like derping around on Wikipedia. And of course, I know Wikipedia isn't the most trustworthy source of information in the world, but so I guess a lot of the stuff that I'm saying, you know, is worth questioning, but still, it is what it is. And I still haven't stumbled upon on Wikipedia that is like super not correct or whatever you want to call it. So I don't know. I trust Wikipedia, and but mainly the thing about Wikipedia that I appreciate so much is mainly just the fact that, you know, how the whole website is organized. Basically, you know, the way that you have the fact that when you're going into an article, there is like you can click on the specific things within the text, and then that's basically going to you can sort of go on an adventure. I mean, there's sort of a mini game, or not a mini game, I don't know what you would call, like an exercise or whatever you want to call it, like you do in Wikipedia, where you basically the rules are basically like you start out on a certain like web page, such as, I don't know, banana, and then your job is to get from banana to something else, and you have to do that only by like clicking the different links around the website. And I don't know, like I don't really do that very often, pretty much never, but I do it, you know, I kind of do it anyways. In the way that I go from researching one thing into like just totally reading about something, you know, kind of different. So yeah, that was my rambling around about the awesomeness of Wikipedia. What would we do without it? Indeed. Okay, so I believe I'm going to go ahead and end the episode right here. And then I might go in and try and figure out the whole no hassles vassal thingy and try and figure out how to install that. So that'll hopefully work out. I know there's a bunch of other mods out there that might be good installing. Like there's a mod that like makes like the textures for like the borders and stuff, you know, better. Although in my opinion, I don't really, you know, I kind of like the way that the borders are in this game. Because I kind of like having like clear boundaries, like you can see where vassals are and where they aren't. I kind of like that because you know, it's such a big part of this game, so it is. I feel like it should be clearly put on the map or whatever. Let's take a quick look on the Sultan of Rome, or Rome. Take a look at his troop count. So we'll do round 3. 31,000, yeah. That's a lot of men, but we have 100,000, so most likely I'll be able to defeat them. I'm confident in my abilities to do that, so I believe that's pretty much what we're going to do in the next episode, the invasion of the Rome Sultanate. Invading the Rome Sultanate is going to give us access to a bunch of new troops, because the Anatolia is really rich on levy, to say the least. Like, if you look on other parts of the world, you can see there's a lot. Oh, never mind, I take that back. There's even more people over here, actually. Oh, I guess the thing that's confusing me is maybe just that I'm playing at such at a late date, because usually when I play these games, I become tired after playing a certain amount of time, because I usually set myself a goal, such as if I play as I don't know, like Jorvik, or York as it is called here. This is called Jorvik in the, you know, the old gods thing. Eh? I play as Jorvik, and my goal is to form the Empire Britannia and reform the Norse faith. And once I've done that, I don't really feel like playing more, because I'm done. You know, that's why I came here. That's what I came here to do. So why should I keep playing? You know, feels just, I don't know. You know, you get the idea. Anyways, so yeah, I guess I've rambled enough in this video. I should just stop and end the episode, and go and make myself some food, because I am hungry. I'm thinking noodles would be a good thing to make right now. Not because I particularly enjoy noodles, although I do like noodles, but it's mainly just that that's one of the few things that I am, you know, that I can make, because I am so bad at making food. I'm working on it though. I keep making food even though it tastes really bad, and I keep eating it just to motivate myself to make better food the next time. You would be surprised how high quality products I can make taste really horrible. But that's one of the things in my life though. I have a goal that before I die, I will be really awesome at food. Not really awesome, but I will be able to make like really nice food. Like, sort of like, you know, how everybody feels like their mother is like really awesome at food. I want to be like kind of that good at food, you know. Anyways, I don't even know where I went with that. Point is, I am obviously just rambling right now, so I just should stop. So yeah, thanks so much for watching this episode of, you know, Mongol Empire Let's Play Crusader Kings II, and until next time, bye.